Hey guys, Undercover Prepper here. So, right to it. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on in our world that should concern us. And quite frankly, tomorrow could be too late. You have to live with that mindset that tomorrow could be too late. And that's in many that applies to many things. Most importantly, spiritually. How are you spiritually? Are you walking with the Lord, or do you keep putting him off? Because truly, tomorrow might never come for you. You just don't know. So that is why it is important that you are right with the Lord right away. Today. Don't waste another minute. Well, okay, wait till this video is done. but no, seriously though. Tomorrow really could be too late. And not only in the spiritual sense, but it also could be too late to start prepping. If you've been putting it off and putting it off, you really got to stop. Because all it's going to take, guys, is one big trigger event. It could be the start of World War III. It could be a cyber attack that is so crippling that it causes complete panic and chaos. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. We kind of are in uncharted territories here for the most of us, if not all of us. I think to a certain degree, everybody comes from different backgrounds, so some of us might have experienced some of these things going on, especially if maybe you came from another country where you've experienced some of the things that we are today here in America. But I mean, let's face it, we're dealing with an attack on our nation. And it's not just us, it's happening to many nations across the world. This rise of control, this power grab by certain individuals, call them elitists if you will, or globalist with certain agendas. But I mean, the kind of things that are happening should be throwing up red flags for all of us. And I mean, it's happening even here, on a county level. I'd say we have issues going on from a county level all the way to the White House and beyond that. But I think ultimately the grand prize for these certain puppet masters is to bring America down to its knees and have total control. And that ends badly for the average American citizen. But just on a county level, for instance, it doesn't matter if you live in the sticks, or if you're on a city lot. They pass new legislation here, where now you can't so much as park an ATV or a boat, or dirt bikes or anything of the sort, next to your house, next to your garage, whatever it be. They want you to have an upgraded surface, as they're calling it. So basically, they want you to spend money on paving the side of your house, along the side of your house, or at least some crushed granite or something. They don't want you to just be able to park on the grass. And I get it for if you got too much clutter, you've got stuff laying everywhere, your yard is a mess, you know, I understand that, especially if you're in a city lot, that maybe it looks, you know, kind of bad or whatever, and um, I get that it shouldn't be out of control, but my point here is these guys, they're overreaching, and this is the kind of stuff that's happening um, on many levels, and it's it's just getting ridiculous. The kind of freedoms, the suppression that we're dealing with, even uh, with social media, if you don't speak in the same tune as them, you're getting suppressed. We know that's happening, and I mean, we're dealing with other issues in Minnesota as well. Like now they've passed legislation here. The governor has adopted these policies and decided to move forward with this green energy garbage, or they're wanting to move into the electric car era, as if um, you know, that's so reliable. And uh, to top it off, at the same time that they're doing this, they, hand and foot here, they're also working at getting rid of the coal plants in Minnesota, and they want to move into this renewable energy thing. And we know what happened in Texas and what's happening in California with rolling blackouts and whatnot, that they've been dealing with the last couple of years at the very least. And now we're talking, they're trying to do this kind of stuff in Minnesota, a area where if we had a power outage that lasted even a few days here in Minnesota in the the colder time of the year, say January, that'd be catastrophic. It'd be worse than Texas, guys. I mean, you'd see a lot of people dying. So again, that's also another reason why, as preppers, we prepare, because if we have a situation like that, we got to have a way to provide heat, um, you know, and have food on hand, have adequate shelter, so on and so forth. But you know, what I'm getting at here is that these are the kind of things that we're facing, especially, you know, here in America, this heavy attack on our freedoms. And it seems as if they're trying to set us up to fail. I mean, when you're talking about this push for renewable energy and pulling away from things that are proven to work, like our coal plants, things that have worked for years here and provided for us without fail, and they're trying to strip these kind of things away and go towards systems that have proven to fail and leave people without power when they need it most. It's just looking like they're setting us up to fail. And guys, that's why it's important that on a personal level you're prepared to deal with those things, because unfortunately it seems that no matter how much we express our disinterest in these kind of policies, they just shove it down our throats anyway. It doesn't seem to matter. And I mean, you know, we say vote them out, but what good is that seeming to do us lately? How much faith can we have there? I won't say any more on that level. We know we got to be careful in these videos, but you guys know what I'm getting at, so I'll leave that at that. But yeah, it's just what I see going on here is a California 2.0 being launched in Minnesota. And you know, I've seen that they've been building over the last few years. I've seen a lot of solar panel like fields just getting mulled over, farmers fields, and they're turning them into like solar solar panel fields. I mean, literally, like hundreds of these things. And, um, that's great and all, but I just, I don't see it as a good idea to lean on stuff like that as the primary sources for our power. And I mean, when we're seeing failures as a result of trying to lean on just those kind of things, what happens when they fail? Uh, we're left in the dark and we're left freezing cold, and people end up inevitably dying when those kind of things happen. So, at the very least, there should be, if they want to lean on those things, they should be leaning on them, but kicking on coal plants when they're under too much strain and are starting to fail. But I mean, when you're talking about also going to these electric cars and stuff, now we're already having power issues in various places in this nation. So if you're moving into these electric cars, like Minnesota now wants to do, following hand in foot with California, and other places as well, but then you're talking about switching to renewable energy at the same time. What's that going to do? What's that going to cause? How is it that if we start having all these electric cars pulling all this charge for their batteries, how is it the power supply is supposed to keep up with all that extra juice getting sucked in for these cars? And we're starting to use these renewable energies. I just don't see it being able to keep up. It sounds like a recipe for disaster. So not only are you moving into electric cars, but you're changing the whole way that our power supply is um, uh, providing for the people. And I mean, when you start making all these kind of changes at once, it's a recipe for disaster. And it seems to me that that they want this kind of stuff to happen. That's my opinion. But anyways, guys, continue to prepare and get ready to endure anything that comes down this river, guys, because there's a lot going on. The stuff that I just talked about, that's only some of what's been happening in our world. And if you're watching this channel, you probably watch a lot of prepping channels and are getting a lot of other information as well. And when you put it all together, you can see that there is a big picture of things happening, and a lot of things that we're not even seeing or unable to report because they would just pull it off of YouTube anyway and give us a strike. So that's why some of the stuff that's actually going on we can't even talk about. And I personally want to keep my channel up, so I try to be careful and barely touch on some of these subjects, because believe me, I would go deeper if I could. But when you guys look at all the stuff that's going on between this channel and all the other channels that are out there, you're kind of able to piece stuff together and see that there is a ton of stuff happening, and way more than what we've seen before. I mean, just in the last couple of years, guys, we've seen a lot of things happen that are destroying our supply chain, our food chain, and all these little battles going on with the governments. And I mean, let's face it, we're already at war. I've said that before, but we're already at war. It might not be bullets flying and bombs exploding, but there's all these little secret ops going on. There's all these hacks going on. The supply chain is taking hit after hit, and it sure seems like it's orchestrated, in my opinion. So when I see all these things going on, it tells me all the more that it is necessary to prepare or perish, basically. Because if we do nothing, we're going to get trampled, guys. If we're not prepared, we're going to be caught off guard and running around like chickens with their heads cut off. An old saying, right? But true. When suddenly you can't get the things that you used to be able to get, it creates chaos. And everybody that is stuck in that situation is in panic mode trying to figure out what they're going to do. So please do yourself a favor and be prepared. Don't be one of those chickens with the head cut off. Alright, guys. That's what I got. Undercover Pepper signing out of here.